Okay, let's start with a question. Who in the audience knows the soap called Thuis? Yeah, a lot of people, right? Um, I mean, it's traditional, old school television. It's, as I said, world famous here in Flanders, and every country has its own soap. But they too have to deal with the pressure from social media, like audiences going to those kind of places. So how are they dealing with the competitors, basically? Well, we found the man who is responsible for guarding the brand of this soap called Thuis and all of its communication. So I'm giving the floor to Hans Rogge. Give him an applause.
Thank you very much, Niels. Okay, fashy sunglasses. So, normally there should be some. Moet ik al klikken? Oh, sorry. Oh ja, sorry. So, my name is Hans. I'm working for Thuis for 7 years, something like that. First 5 years was as the show producer, and the last 2.5 years I'm responsible for the brand and all communications about the show. And in that role, they asked me to tell you something about how we try to connect with younger people. Younger people are not young people, but younger people. Yeah, how we do it, how we try to do it, because we're a show. But let me first tell you something about Thuis, because everyone who isn't from Flanders, they probably doesn't know Thuis, and a lot of people working in media also don't know Thuis, because they don't watch the show Thuis. So that's why I put some figures on. So we're on the 28th season right now, 200 plus episodes. Big reach on TV, big reach every evening. It's a prime time soap for people not from Flanders. So it's like the Emmerdale's, Coronation Street, EastEnders. Also a lot of streaming video starts every year on VRT Max, and a quite big reach on our 2 social channels we host. But this success is something we can't take for granted anymore. This way, yeah. Because there's something changing, and that's probably not new for you. Who influences younger people to watch or to start watching a show? Is it media or video content? It's changing. Not so long ago, you were watching a video with in your family on one screen. And actually, we as a show, as a broad show with large audiences over all age groups, we hadn't to do nothing really to get a new generation of viewers, because they learn to view from their parents or their grandparents. Nowadays, totally different. People their influences for media and video consumptions are their phones and their friends. So that gives us 2 questions. How do we get noticed as an old-fashioned TV show, but apparently quite big, and it's possible to attract a lot of audience to enjoy that half an hour of pastime? How do we get noticed? Especially by younger people, and not young people, not only kids, not only teenagers, but also young adults and young professionals. And the second, how we seduce them to be our viewers for the next 50 years. So all of this communicating with or focusing on younger audiences isn't because of commercial reasons, it's because they are our viewers for the next 50 years. Because a show like ours, a daily continuous drama, can outlive almost every show. Coronation Street, 60 plus years on ITV. Emmerdale is the second daily on ITV, is currently airing its 50th season. So it's possible to have a next generation and even a next one for our show. So those 2 stories. So that's how do we get noticed and how do we attract them to be our viewers. At Thuis, we use 3 overall communication strategies for all our communication. First is AA. It's not a drink, but something to remind, to easily remember, is awareness through agenda setting. It's for me a difficult word in English. Agenda setting, another G. Awareness through agenda setting. It's how to, yeah, exactly. We try to let other people talk about us. So we take a lot of effort in influencing media, other media, to talk about our show, to talk about our topics, talk about our storylines. Second was Be Soap. Soap, what's in the name? But Be the Soap Bar. That's a fast-moving consumer goods, something people were more into marketing terms, fast-moving consumer goods. You try to sell and promote them by repeating your message, repeating the message again, 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 and be visible all over the place. Have a lot of touch points. And the last one is use your ambassadors. We have a big audience. Use them to tell their story, our story, to their friends, and give them the opportunity to tell them the stories. But first, the basics. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in Rome, as this lady presents quite neatly, you eat spaghetti with a fork. You don't cut your spaghetti with a knife and a fork. You don't use a spoon to swirl it up. What this lady actually said, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When you're on a platform, follow the rules of the platform. It may sound so easy, but we as makers or decision makers, we tend to forget it quite often, that you just stick to the rules of the platform. That's what we try to do with an online extra content, Tim Undercover. Tim is one of our characters. He's obviously a police cop. And 1 week before our season's finale, we had to make people aware of the fact that they had to come and watch the show, because for just 5 episodes and it was been going crazy. Right one way to the season's finale. Come and watch us. Doesn't matter. It's on TV. It's on VRT Max. It doesn't matter. But come and watch the show. So we created an extra online video series. It was a video diary of him. And he would tell the story about how it felt to be undercover. So it was actually a detention flag. It's the awareness strategy. Not because we wanted to create another show, but we wanted to create extra fuss, and we made it through creating something new and visible. We distributed it on VT Max, on Facebook, and on Instagram. So even in the production, we were following the rules. So it was shot in a way I didn't know, but the director told me that was the way. So I'm telling it to you now. It was shot in 4K, 4:3 aspect ratio. That was the best to even cut out is in a full HD landscape and a full HD portrait. But it was one edit, one color grading. It was the same file. It was just exported in the 2 ways. The whole series, 6 episodes of 2.5 minutes, just cost €4,000. So it was a budget, very low budget for a high-end product. So that's awareness. And stick to the rules of the medium, export landscape, and the other one, vertical and horizontal. Yeah. What I'm talking about, next one, just want to take you to Lena, and I want to introduce you to Lena and Amber. And that's about our social media channels. That's more the last 2 strategies we're using. It's Be Soap, repeat, repeat, repeat. And user ambassadors give them something to talk about. And that's Amber over there and Lena over there. What's in it for them? On socials, we can still reach out to younger people. 50% of our followers on Instagram are below 35. 50% of them on Facebook below 35. So we can connect and reach out to younger audiences over there. But it's important to be young also in the future. So talk to Amber. We're talking to Amber. We're talking to Lena through those channels. On Instagram, we are Amber. We think like Amber. We try to imagine what's important for Amber, and we talk to Amber. The same with Lena. She's on Facebook. We are Lena, and we try to talk to her. So, meet Lena. She's 31. She lives in a typical Flemish village. It's called Tessenderlo, for the ones, but I think it is a typical Flemish village. Thuis is a daily routine for her on TV. It's a family thing. She discusses the storylines during a coffee break at work, as a lot of people do. It's a family moment for her and her partner Tim, and her oldest daughter Leo. She's 8. And after Thuis, that's 8:30, it's bedtime for Leo. And Lena is a family-first person. Everything is about family and family time, except on a Wednesday evening, Zumba nights with the friends. Amber is 19, single. She's experimenting and dating. She's living her life as a young student. Lives in a college town, but her hotel mama, dus in a weekend and even on a Friday when there are no lessons on a Friday, she goes home and enjoys hotel mama. She tries to watch every episode of Thuis, but it has to fit in within her busy schedule. Friends, social media, college, whatever, sports even, other media content. And she discusses it Thuis, the story, not on a coffee break at her work, but in WhatsApp groups, one-to-one, with her friends, or in a family chat room. So, in every story we try to think what's in it for them. Thuis tells stories for every tells different stories, tells stories in a broad way, but on our socials we pick and choose what's important for Amber, what's important for Lena. For instance, at the moment we're telling a story about dementia. Dementia, Veerle is a grandmother, and she yesterday in the show she heard the diagnosis of dementia. But on Instagram we tried to tell the story through the eyes of Joren. We're putting his perspective up front. And on Facebook, we're going to tell the perspective of daughter Sam. So we're not on our socials, we try not to tell the perspective of the grandmother Veerle, because that's not what Lena and Amber are living for. That perspective we tell in magazines, etc., and on websites, but not on our socials. So that's the key. What's in it for them? So round up, my 10 minutes are way beyond. What's in it for them? Talk to Amber, talk to Lena. Stick to the rules of the platform, of try to maintain that. And yeah, that's what we do. We don't always succeed, but it's our aim to do it like that. Voilà.
Thank you, Hans. Maybe you can share spoilers for the episode of tonight.
Sorry, can't do it.
Maybe if there's 1 or 2 questions in the audience, just raise your hand. We'll make sure we get you a microphone. Okay. I think everything was super clear.
Okay.
Thank you, Hans, for joining us on stage. Give him an applause. I mean, if we consider Thuis being very traditional linear television, then our next guest is a bit more on the frontier of what we consider new media. He became well known in Belgium for mostly online for photoshopping himself into the pictures of famous people, making hilarious compositions. But now he shifted his focus towards creating YouTube content. So we want to know more about that one. Why? He's a lot of things, but I think he's everything but average. He's called Average Rob. Please take the stage, Rob.
Hello, you can hear me? All right, how are you all doing? Good? Oh, people upstairs also? Ça va? Okay, who's all not from Belgium? Oh, you can put your hand more up. Do I see people upstairs there? No? The lights are very bright. Okay, enough about us. Can I... Oh shit, wait. All right, so this is my presentation, slightly different. What I'm going to say here is just my opinion. Everybody can have his or her own opinion. It's not theory. It's just what I feel about it. Okay, so don't take it too seriously. So the first question is, who am I? Because I suppose there's a lot of people here who don't know what I do or what I do. My name is Robert, actually. It's not as sexy as average Rob. It's more a name for a grandfather, which I will carry with pride once I turn 80 years old. But for now, it's average Rob. I create YouTube content. I've been working in the media. I've been working a lot for myself also. So what the host actually told is I started with photoshopping myself with celebrities, which got picked up by multiple media sources like BBC, Snoop Dogg, other kinds of medias who kind of blew this joke out of the water. I forgot to actually edit in my presentation, so if you want to check it out, you can. It's very low into my feed because I changed concepts. What I also do is I've always been like sort of a class clown. My teachers didn't thought it was a lot of fun, but that's just how it goes, I guess, when you're young. I like to entertain. It's like it's something I've been doing my whole life, and it's something I really love to do, and that's been like my red line. Do you say that, red line? Do you say that? All right. It's been my red line in my whole career, in everything I've been doing my whole life. So starting from making jokes in class to making jokes on the internet, I suppose. I'm a big fan of Zorro, as you can see, and I might have already thought I would have a mustache today, so I became what I hoped for. Where do I point, actually? Is it to the computer? All right, works. So the first question I always get, because I make my YouTube videos in English, but I live in Flanders, and if you're from Flanders, you know that when someone talks English, it's a bit tricky. They're like, whoa, chill, you're from Flanders, you should talk Flemish and be proud of the small space you live in, you know? So I've always been making content in English because I think it's more interesting. I prefer the language. I think it has way more reach, and I also want to connect with more people than just Flanders. I want to connect with the Walloons. I want to connect with the Brussels people, and I want to connect with people outside of Belgium. So I decided to create some sort of graphic. So this is a clear representation of people understanding a certain language. And one vol au vent represents 10 million people. So, no, wait, I'm going to ask another question first. Wie verstaat hier allemaal Nederlands en praat perfect Nederlands? Hand in de lucht. OK. Qui parle français et comprend exactement ce que je suis en train de dire maintenant. Vol au vent est vraiment très délicieux, donc main en l'air. OK, and who here speaks, understands English perfectly? Yeah, if you are here, you understand English, obviously. So I suppose you should all raise your hands. Do you understand what I'm saying? No? Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask again, who understands and speaks English? You don't understand English? No. What have you been doing the whole day? Don't worry, it's nice, I guess. Okay, so this is a clear representation of people understanding a certain language, and one vol au vent represents 10 million people. So I did my research. In total, there are 23 million people who understand Dutch or Flemish. Then for the French part, so in Belgium we speak like mainly two languages, French and I would say Flemish, but theoretically we say Dutch. For the French side, there are 275 million people who speak and understand French. And then this is probably the main reason why I make my content in English and why I invest so much time and effort and money into making content in English, is because there are actually 1.5 billion people who understand English. And you're not part of it, unfortunately. Which is, it's rare. It's very rare. You're very special. No, I'm kidding. If you feel uncomfortable, I apologize. You're going to leave? Okay, I'm sorry. Where are you from?
From Spain.
Oh, hola. ¿Qué tal? So that's my next point. Spanish people. No, it's actually like two.
Speaks Basque.
Basque.
You know it?
Bera panak.
Vera Penac.
Yes. It means discounts.
Yes.
Right? Yes. My grandmother is from San Sebastian.
We are from
Oh, you're San Sebastian. Nice. Have you been to Iguana Bar? Yes. No. They have the salamander who spits punch, and you have to be like under it. It's true, huh? Yes, I know. You know, yes. All right. Welcome in Belgium. Okay, where was I? Okay, 1.5 billion people who speaks and understand English, and I think actually in Spanish is probably maybe a bit bigger. Do you know that? How many people?
No, less.
Okay,
English, yeah.
less.
Yeah, than English.
Okay, okay. I will research it for next time.
I would say so.
Yeah. So this is actually the main reason why I make my content in English. I invest a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of creativity and humor into my content. And if I can decide which language I would choose, I think the most interesting would be to do in English. Also, I want to connect with everybody in Belgium. I don't want to connect only with Flanders, not only with Wallonia. In English, I'm quite sure I can connect the most and the biggest part in Belgium and everybody. So, and also it's interesting for outside of the borders. A great philosopher once said, Steve, 27 years old, lives in Texas, the only number that counts is number 69. And you might think now that's a douchebag thing to say. But then I thought more about it. And he's actually right. Because numbers are not the most important. The most important in creating content is to do it with love and passion. And that's one of the most important things that I've learned also, is that I want to be able to do what I love, and I want to continue and do what I love for the rest of my life. I'm short-breathed, I don't know why. I'm too aware of the microphone next to my mouth, so I'm focusing on my breath. So if you one day have one like this, you will understand. Deep breath. Okay. So one of the main things I learned about creating content, I've been doing it for 6 years now, is that if you do not do it with passion and you do not do it with love, you will burn out. Especially if you're like a creator, if you're someone who does it on his own or on her own, you have to get the passion and love, because that's your fuel. And it's almost like endless. You can go very, very far with just passion and love. So, voila. The main reason why I started YouTube is actually a bit selfish, is because I just like to do it. And apparently 180,000 people on YouTube also like it. So it's quite a nice bonus. But the main reasons why I do it is because I really love to be creative. I really love to create content, and I really love to do my own thing. That's why I put Steve Carell there. I love to be my own boss. I love to decide what I do, when I do it, and how I do it. I don't like to have someone who tells me how I should do things. And that just gives me a lot of satisfaction and freedom to do whatever I do on YouTube. Another reason why I started YouTube is because I have always wanted to do things on a bucket list. For example, like, I don't know, skydive, become hobby horse champion. Those are all things that I've had the idea, and I thought, like, maybe I should just create a YouTube series where I go through all my bucket list things and just achieve them. What I also love about YouTube, and what I think is very interesting, is the long format content. TikTok and Instagram is all very short. Most of the time people make content that is like 15 to 1 minute, and what I like about long format is that you can really create a story. You can really connect with people. You can like go deeper in a lot of things. And that's why I love YouTube, and that's why I think YouTube is something that will go on until forever, because it's connected with one of the best, well, probably, no, it is the best search engine in the world. If you want to know something about hobby horsing and you put it in YouTube, there's a big chance you will find my video about it, where I became Belgian champion in hobby horsing. It's not a joke, it's real. You don't have to laugh, okay? It's real. I put a lot of passion and time in it. No, but it's actually real. It's real. I will show you. I will give you the YouTube link after. How do you say hobby horsing in Spanish? Do you know what it is? It's like you have a horse head on a stick, and then you pretend to be a horse, basically. You don't. There's no translation. So, does anyone have a broom? Okay, so you have a hobby horse and then you just gallop like this. So this, just watch the video, you'll understand. And also, probably the most interesting reason why I started YouTube is because I want to create an archive of everything I've been doing when I was young. I am 30 years old now. I don't feel very young anymore, but when I'm 50, 30 will sound very young. So I want to show my kids later, like, what I did before. Like, because when I see my parents or my father or my mother, I have no idea how they were. I don't know what they were doing as sports. I don't know what they were interested in. It's all into like pictures, and that most of them are lost. So for me, it was very interesting and very important to create an archive of a lot of content, which I can be very proud of. And I think that's why this YouTube thing is working really well for me, is because I put a lot of passion and a lot of time in it to make it the best version it could be. Honestly, I don't really care about numbers. I don't really care about views, because YouTube is mainly for myself. I really mean that. I really love to create things. It's just a nice bonus that other people are also watching it. But then the question is still like, you're making it in English, you want to reach an audience, but you don't want to lose your Belgian audience, which is still home and still important. So the main question is, how and why does this content work in Belgium? And the main thing is that, you can probably hear it on my accent, is that I don't try to become a UK or a American speaker. I just talk with my Belgian accent. I'm very proud of it. I'm not ashamed of it. And I think that creates like some sort of authenticity towards the audience that watches it. Another thing that I think is very important and works very well is that I introduce a lot of Belgian culture. So we made a video a couple of months ago about the broodjes tier list. And if you're not from Belgium, you might not understand the importance of a broodje during lunch, but I can tell you it's very important and people really love it. So I think you can um, I don't know how to say it in English. I think you can vergelijken. How you say it? Okay, compare. Very nice. I think you can compare broodjes with tapas. I think so. I actually really think so because you are very passionate about tapas, I suppose. Yes. Pinchos. Yes. But we also love pinches. It's something else. Pinches is a beer in Belgium. Yes. So if you go to the bar and say pinchos, they will give you liquid. It's also good, eh? All right, okay. So we have for every moment in the day, we have food that is culturally iconic. For the morning, we have koffiekoeken. It's like pastry, but you don't really find it anywhere else than in Belgium. Well, as good as in Belgium. Then for the lunch, we have broodjes. It's basically a baguette, and they put salads on it, but it's not mainly like the salad as you know it, not the green one, but it's just like chicken mixed with mayonnaise or with andalouse. It's difficult to explain. But we love bread and we love sauces and we mix it with everything. And then for dinner, I should start my own restaurant. And then for dinner we have like stoofvlees and vol au vent and food is so amazing in Belgium. And of course frietkot. If you have the chance to go in the center, you should find the frietkot and order fries. And then this is like fried things. You can. It's very unhealthy, but it's very delicious. So you can hear I'm very passionate about food and very passionate about our Belgian culture, which is mainly food. So when we implement this in our videos, we automatically connect really, really hard on a very deep level with the Belgians. Another way we connect with our Belgian audience is through our athletes. We actually, and we are a very small country, but we have a lot of huge talent in Belgium when we're talking about sports. In cycling, in gymnastics, is Nina Derwaal. She got gold at the Olympics, which is absolutely crazy. And what we do is we make a YouTube video with them. Oh wait, maybe I should explain what my YouTube format is. That's maybe a better idea before. So what I do with my brother is we create videos about extreme sports and we mix it with humor. So we test out a sport, for example, gymnastics, and we try to become a pro in 2 hours, and then we see what happens. In this video, I broke my toe, but it was worth it because it was a very nice video, and I'm very proud of it. So that's an area, and then I think the last one is something us Belgians I think are born with is a special kind of humor, a lot of sarcasm, a lot of dark humor, and I think maybe Jean-Claude Van Damme is a really good example of what Belgian humor is. But I think the nice thing about Belgian humor is that we just try to be authentic, and we just want to create good jokes and just create good situations. Authentic situations. I think my time is almost up. Do you say that? My time is almost up, yes. But my main goal about this project, and especially about YouTube, is because we've got a really big issue in Belgium. We've got a lot of issues in Belgium, but we've got one really big issue in Belgium is that we are very split up. We have in the top we have Flanders, like geographically top. I don't want to be like Flanders the best, yeah. So in the northern part, I'll say it like this. In the northern part we have Flanders. In the southern part we have Wallonia, and in the middle we have Brussels, and then very, very small part on the right side is a German part. Nobody really knows anyone from there. Not sure if it exists, but they told us it exists, so I trust them. So one of the big issues with our country is that we speak mainly two languages, Flemish and French. And a big issue is that, for example, Thuis, which generates a lot of viewers, has 0 viewers 15 kilometers down from here. 0. You can be on the border of Wallonia. If you have a Flemish household, you will see Thuis. If you have a French household, you will never see Thuis. And it's only because of the language. Only because of the language. So that's one big issue we have in Belgium, is that brands and media have a lot of difficulties to connect with Belgium as a unit. And that's why I wanted to create this project in English, just also to prove that as a small Belgian, I'm 1.69 meters, you can connect with everybody in Belgium. And just because I speak English, it's not because English is not your first language that you don't understand it. And that's a point I really want to prove, is that if you're a creator and if you want to create content and you want to reach Belgium as a whole, or reach far outside of Belgium, don't be ashamed to do it in English, because you can do it. It's so simple. Sometimes I see brands communicating in 3 languages on one caption. So they create like this text, and the picture is like this big, because they feel the need to translate everything in 3 languages constantly. I did a project with the Red Devils, for example. Also French and Flemish. And they really want you to do presentations in a mishmash. They want you to do one sentence in Flemish, then continue the next sentence in French, finish in English, throw in a word of German, go back to Flemish, mix it up with a little bit of Flenglish, and then it's so confusing. And I think if Belgium would do more in English, I think we would connect with a lot more people. So my goal is to really inspire like young creators to do more things in English. It's very easy. Voilà. So it's very vague what I said. I had 3 hours of sleep. So voilà. Yes? Anybody any questions?
Do you still do the production all by yourself and your brother, or you have a team behind you?
Good question. I have one camera guy that I pay almost full time. His name is Milan, and he's very, very talented. I'm really happy we found him. And before that, I was doing the montage myself, but now Milan does actually everything. Yeah, we're just a team of 3 people. It's me, my brother, who basically just shows up and be funny, and then he disappears until we do another video. And then there's Milan, who does like a lot. I think he works 4 or 5 days a week for me. And it's a very big loss to create YouTube content. I don't earn anything from it because we use a lot of copyrighted music, and so it drains my pockets. But I love it. So it's yes, it's a weird situation, but no. I actually earn my money through the relevancy I get through YouTube. So, for example, I sell merchandise, and through the income of my merchandise, I can fund my YouTube. So, don't worry, I'm not poor. I'm not broke. Not rich yet. I'm just doing good. I'm happy. Not your question either, but was that the answer of your question?
Oh God, we're gonna go classroom style. Yes, sir, that was the answer.
Thank you. How do you say kus van de juf en een bank vooruit? Of is dat? Nee, pluim van de juf.
Hashtag me too.
Oh, different generation, I guess. Any other questions?
What's the next thing on your bucket list?
Oh, next thing on the oh, we are actually going to film a video with Nafitiam, which is a two-time Olympic champion in heptathlon. Is it heptathlon? Yes, huh? Yes, heptathlon. So that's a big bucket list for us. She's really, really, really talented. It's actually crazy. She's this good in this sport. So I'm very excited to meet her and just become a pro heptathlist in 2 hours. But another bucket list thing would be, I don't know. I have to check my list. I have a lot of things, but now that you say it, it's a bit foggy in my head. But we have nice things coming up. I went surfing in a Speedo just now, actually, just came back from Switzerland. Not your question either, but it's nice, yeah. It's gonna be nice, I promise. Other questions, anybody?
Yeah, maybe.
You're also from Spain?
No,
Where are you from?
from Croatia.
Oh, Croatia. Nice. You
I work here, by the way.
work at the VRT?
Yeah.
Nice. I was gonna say welcome, but
Yeah.
you've already been welcomed. Okay.
Anyway, so your thin red line is like you do only you film only things that you're interested in, or do you sometimes like think about like what could I do for my viewers, what they're interested in?
I would say that mostly I only do things that I think are fun, but most of the time when I think something is fun, it's also fun for people to watch it. I think watch it, for example. So I most of the time I think more about what I think is fun, and then sometimes when we think like there's something crazy that could be funny for the viewer, we can add it in. But our main goal is just to have fun ourselves. It's it's actually yes. It's this project is mostly for myself because I want to create nice content for later to show my kids and be the favorite parent. So it's an investment. It's a very expensive investment, but I checked with my girlfriend and she hasn't made one video yet. So I'm ahead. Yes. Was it the answer?
Yes.
Okay.
Quite a good answer.
So it's I would say like 80%, no, 90% from what I think is fun, and then 10% we can look at. Is there something that's a hype, for example, and can we implement it in something we're doing? Yeah. But never, it's never like a priority. Yeah. Any more questions? Oh, yes.
How do you see yourself in 10 years, content speaking?
10 years. Alive, hopefully. We do a lot of crazy things in our videos. But I don't try to look too far ahead. I don't want to lose the focus on having fun right now. And I think people who focus too much on the 5 or the 10 years ahead maybe miss nice opportunities right now. So, but I would say maybe in 10 years, some kids I can show my videos to still be with my girlfriend because she's amazing. If she can keep it up with me. And then career-wise, I hope I can keep on creating content, especially for YouTube. And I'm also trying to act a little bit, which is I'm starting into it. And then maybe in 10 years, I don't want to do weekly YouTube videos anymore and do more acting, entrepreneur, a little bit of things. I have my own beer currently. I hope in 10 years it will be bigger than Stella Artois. It's not a joke. Yeah, so I just want, I'm just looking at now and maybe 1 week ahead, maybe 1 year ahead, but 10 years is very far away, we don't know how it's going to change. Yes. More questions?
Yeah, any plans on follow up on your cycling cross video? Because Mathieu van der Poel thought you were quite good. So.
Oh, okay, so cyclocross, for the people who don't know what it is, it's you ride with a road bike through the mud, and it's a small parcours, and you do it for 1 hour. If you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you see it because it's very special kind of sport, very intensive. And Mathieu van der Poel, we made a video with him. He's a multiple world champion, I think. And so to answer your question, I've been thinking about training for it for a week, for example, and then doing a competition with the toddlers or with maybe the 12-year-olds or something like that, because the pros are too crazy. Yes, okay. And thank you.
I have another question.
Yes.
For your main platform, YouTube, what's for you the interaction between Instagram and TikTok? Is it to attract people to your YouTube channel, or what's your relation to TikTok and Instagram?
For me personally, I really like to give respect to every platform on its own. So for Instagram, I'm not going to post a lot of content, like video content from my YouTube videos, only in stories, for example, to link them to the full video. But as terms of a feed post, for example, I want to keep it more what I'm doing, like more just iPhone pictures, nothing too crazy. Then for TikTok, it's a platform that is completely living its own life. You cannot really anticipate what's going on there. So I don't expect a lot of people that go from TikTok to YouTube. The same for Instagram to YouTube. The link to get people from one platform to another is very difficult. So the best way to do it is to just spread awareness. If you have a new video, for example, we're going to use that content and create a recap, for example, for TikTok, but we're not gonna create cliffhangers. So we're gonna spoil the whole episode on TikTok. It's gonna be like a 2-minute recap, while our YouTube videos is mostly 12 minutes. But it's because we don't expect them to go from TikTok to YouTube. We really want to use TikTok as a main platform for its own content. But we use content we shot for YouTube and create like derivatives on the platforms. So for TikTok, we do a lot of recaps, we do a lot of memes, for example, and then I have like a concept, it's called Friday. It's Friday, stop working, start drinking. So that's, we also do that. So, yes. It's good. It's not Friday yet, unfortunately. Tomorrow. Are you all staying also tomorrow? You're staying here. Wait a minute, I'm gonna rephrase. You came to Belgium to get a lot of very interesting knowledge, and you're staying here until tomorrow, or are you leaving back to Spain? And wait, is there anybody else? Like, who's from UK? Okay, who's not from Spain or Belgium? Where are you from?
Not far away, it's just
France.
France.
Nice. Yes. It's okay. You came with a car?
No.
With a plane?
Train.
Oh, with a train. The TGV. Nice. Very fast. Okay. I forgot what I was going to say. Yes, the question is, are you staying until tomorrow or are you leaving back tonight? ¿Dónde la... No, I'm kidding. So you're going back tomorrow? Okay, but is there still something to do tomorrow here? So you have time to eat fries and drink pinches. Okay, I think I'm well past over time. Thank you very much for listening. I'm very vague, but That's my life. And I appreciate you for listening to what I was saying.
Give him a round of applause. Everett Rob. Thank you. All right, and luckily, I mean, I think we're all hungry and longing for fries and fried snacks. So this was the last session. I would like to thank all of you, our audience, for joining one or all of our sessions today. All our speakers, panelists, of course, our technical crew, the people that hosted as well. A big thank you for joining us at Meet the Makers this year. Also a big warm thank you to Sarah Geroms and Loïc de Visser from Future Meetups for co-organizing this event with the Future Meetups. If you're interested in who we are and what we do, go to our website, futuremeetups.com. There you can find everything, future events, where you're most welcome to join us as well. So big thank you and enjoy your Thursday evening. See you next time.